Test 1, 2. 2, 2, 2. 2. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name. Now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas. Not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the face. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. It's UPK until it hit the fam. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie and pop smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Dear God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a we bout to bombard they whole operation. Certified priest, prophesying this my occupation. This shit outrageous, they done made the truth docile. That's why we on the corner crying aloud, looking hostile. It's UPK style, can't stop now. Far this warfare couldn't last one round. Let the oppressed rise, and let the rich mourn till the sundown. Enough with these chickens, about to make it hot, call it compound. For my niggas, put the guns in the drugs down. Dwelling in peace till the Lord called for the bloodhounds. Try to decide my death and got beside yourself. Swore drawn for what you perform. How you gon' hide yourself? Devil's got to die for his lies and his vengeance. Ain't got no love for them crackers. Nah, just cruel intentions. And in my father's house is spinning mansions. I got plenty bitches. Worthy of vengeance. This your death sentence. I'm talking to you. Slaughter. Yeah. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise. Go in and fill the world with lies. Ain't die for your skin, you gon' die for your crime. That's right. I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's that the end is near. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook from vicious words out this handed book. Bout to take these rappers back to school. My flow standing hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. UPK no cowards. The only thing sweet is the honey check. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag and a badge. I see horns and a pitchfork. Go ahead. So please believe it, the white man is a demon. And I ain't gon' vote for them to free me. No. They beat us till we the color purple. That's why this knife to they throat like ceiling. You got this nigga on his knees. They wanna have peace. We screaming, let this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. I'm laying in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she please. As I squeeze on the double D's. Fuck you mean? I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise. Go in and fill the world with lies. Ain't die for your skin, you gon' die for your crime. That's right. I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's that the end is near. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. I can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking back! Ah!
It's okay, I'm not here with you.
This is the crossing of the staffs, which means anybody that is not an officer or above may come up to the podium. La Yashala, which means to Israel. Imadyum, which means to stand. Wapunya Hakidum, which means to turn and face the east. And do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawu, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayat, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayat, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayat, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawu, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanawu, Kawabawatanawu, Kasalakanawu, Kawabawathayanawu, Wala'a, Tabayayanawu, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashayanawu, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'alu, Wahathaparath, La'awalemyum, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. The purpose of the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ukashah, Nathananawa, Hakak, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Ka Makalah, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, La Hakim, Hamathium, Hakak, Ar-Rakawath, Hatama'alu, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Waraman. The prayer for the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai, wam Yaka'ala, wa Alahayim, matazab ya, alawap Yahana, ha alawapyam, hazaranyam, ha kwatazayanyam, ha kayayam, wa akwathian, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, the water Aman. Prayer for the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Haharim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Ragolka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al, Yad, Yumyaka, Yawamum, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balya'ala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'aka, Wabuaka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damayah, Lakah, Al Thakarash, Wa'al, Tashakwat, Al, Kaya, Hana, Awayavyaka, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya'arwa Yamwa, Sawada, Wayatha, Ya'aitazawa, Al Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanaki Dum, Mogalia, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham, Yasha'ala, Iwata, Kaya, Noah Itazawa, Labat, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Baryat, Yakarathwa, Aholia, Hadawam, Waya Shamai, Alayum, Mawa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'imawan, Wa'imalak, Palashah, Aim, Yeshaviah, Tazawar, Gam, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayuwa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Selah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadian, Kasa Yasara, Kayabian, Banakaol, Kayashawan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayathamwa, Nara, Yab Mawa, Ka'irab, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Manai, Ka, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Na'awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Gola, Kakwash, Lapanya, Rawaka, Ka'ash, Tabaira, Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalaha, Harayam, Khan, Tardatma, Basa'arika, Wabasa, Wapathka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kualawan, Wayabakashwa, Shimka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaalwa, Idea, I, Wayakaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shimka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al, Kal, Ha'aratazah. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the heads. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Say, Lot, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as the Sisera, as the Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zeba and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Sar, which means to turn. Yeshavia, which means to be seated. Sorry. We're going to be in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 15. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 15 in the Hebrew. Call, Patar, Rakam, Lakal, Bashar, Ashar, Yaquar Yabwa, La Yahweh, Ba'adama, Wa Baba Hama, Yahaya, Lak, Ak, Hadah, Fapadah, Ah, Bakawar, Ha'adama, Wa'ath, Bakawar, Habahama, Hatama'ah, Fapadah, verse 16. Wapada Wayawa. Mapun, it's like it. Mabun. Kadash. Thapada. Ba'arakak. Kasap. Kamashath. Shakwalayum. Bashakwal. Hakwadash. Aisharalyum. Gara. Hawa'ah. Verse 17. Ak. Bakawar. Shawar. Awa. Bakawar. Kashab. Awa. Bakawar. Isaiah. La'ah. Thapada. Quadash. Hama. Ath. Damum. Dazarak. Al. Hamazabak. Wa'ath. Kalabum. Takwatayar. Asha. Larayak. Nayakak. La Yahweh. Verse 18. Wabasharam. Yahaya. Lak. Kakazah. Hathana Wapa. Wakashawak. Hayamayan. Lak. Yahaya. Verse 19. Call. Tharawamath. Haquadashium, Ashar, Yarayamwa, Banya, Yasha'ala, La Yahweh, Nathathia, Lak, Wala Banyak, Wala Banathyak, Wala Banathyak, Athak, Lakak, Iwalam, Barayah, Malak, Iwalam, Hawa'ah, Lapunya, Yahweh, Lak, Wala Zara'ik, Athak, verse 20. Waya Amar, Yahweh, All, Aharon, Ba'aratazam, La'ah, Fanakal, Wakalak, La'ah, Yahaya, Lak, Bathawakam, Anya, Thalaquak, Wanakalathak, Bathawak, Banya, Yasha'ala, Sa, verse 21. Wala Banya, Lalia, Hana, Nathathia, Call, Ma'ishara, Ba Yasha'ala, La Nakala, Kalap, Ibadathia, Ibadath, Ibadatham, Ashar, Hama, Ibadium, Ath, Ibadath, Ahal, Mawa'id, verse 22. One second. Oh, that's 7. We're going to go ahead and get the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 15 in the English. Give me 1 second. So this book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 15 in the English. Everything that openeth the matrix and all flesh, which they bring unto the Lord, whether it be of men or beasts, shall be thine. Nevertheless, the firstborn of man shalt thou surely redeem, and the firstling of unclean beasts shalt thou redeem. Verse 16. And I'm going to touch on this real quick because we got to get through all these verses. You understand? For those of our people that are conspiracy theorists and believe that, our people are living in a simulation or trapped in the matrix, you understand? The scriptures let you know the matrix is talking about, the vagina. You understand? That's what the matrix is. You understand? It's not some computer program that simulates, a non-existent world. You understand? It's simply a woman's box. You understand? It's something that can trick a brother into believing, that things really what they aren't. You understand? Such as you might think because you're getting box or you're getting women that these women are down for you, but in reality that's simply not the case. You know what I'm saying? Sisters in the world are real good at playing a role, you understand, of being who it is that they're not. Verse 16, and those that are to be redeemed from a month old shalt thou redeem, according to thine estimation, for the money of 5 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. 17, but the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They are holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shalt burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. 18, and the flesh of them shall be thine, as the wave breast and as the right shoulder are thine. 19, all the heave offerings of the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto the Lord have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord unto thee and to thy seed with thee. 20, and the Lord spake unto Aaron, thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part, and thine inheritance among the children of Israel. 21. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. 22. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. 23. But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear the iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance. 24. But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as an heave offering unto the Lord, I have given to the Levites to inherit. Therefore I have said unto them, among the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. 25. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, 26. Thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, when ye take of the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them for your inheritance, then ye shall offer up and heave offering of it for the Lord, even a 10th part of the tithe. 27. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you, as though it were the corn of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. 28. Thus ye also shall offer an heave offering unto the Lord of all your tithes, which ye receive of the children of Israel, and ye shall give thereof the Lord's heave offering to Aaron the priest. 29. Out of all your gifts ye shall offer every heave offering of the Lord of all the best thereof, even the hallowed part thereof out of it. 30. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, when ye have heaved the best thereof from it, then it shall be counted unto the Levites as the increase of the threshing floor, and as the increase of the winepress. Verse 31. And ye shall eat it in every place, ye and your households, for it is your reward for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation. And ye shall bear, verse 32, and ye shall bear no sin by reason of it, when ye have heaved from it the best of it, neither shall ye pollute the holy things of the children of Israel, lest ye die. You understand? So just to sum it up, just for time's sake, so we can get through all these verses, you understand, is it's talking about what essentially the Levites would be living off of. You understand? Like the children of Israel, every tribe got an inheritance, they got their own land. You understand? They were given, cattle and wealth. You understand? All these things it is that we inherited from our forefathers. But the Levites, you understand, their inheritance, you could say, is being a priest of the Lord. You understand? And how it is that they would live is by tithes, by getting a 10th of everything. You understand? And that's whether it's cattle, you understand, whether it's produce or money. You understand? For our people to believe that tithing isn't money is just ridiculous. Give me 1 second. Okay. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 19, and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, verse 2, this is the ordinance of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. Verse 3, And ye shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. Verse 4, And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. Verse 5, And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh, and her blood, with her dung shall he burn. Verse 6, And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Verse 7, Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. Verse 8, And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even. Verse 9, And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them upon without the camp in a clean place, and it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel, for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. Verse 10, And he that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And it shall be unto the children of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among them, for a statute forever. Verse 11, He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. And this is a basic milk scripture for any brother or sister coming to this truth that have to be around a loved one that has passed. You understand? We have specific laws for whenever we're around dead bodies or touch dead bodies, whether it's of an animal or a person. You understand? But if you're around a dead body, or it's like if you touch a dead body, you'll be unclean for 7 days, for a week. You understand? So you're not allowed to come to classes, and saying you're not supposed to be dapping brothers up. You gotta kind of just like a self quarantine, you could say. Saying that way, whatever that person had died from, it doesn't get transmitted to the brothers and sisters, to the congregation. Verse 12, He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Verse 13, Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean, his uncleanness is yet upon him. Verse 14, This is the law when a man dieth in a tent. All that, it's like, just to sum up verse 12 and 13, make sure you bathe after you touch a dead body. saying? Don't go days without, cleaning yourself because you're too busy mourning, or doing whatever it is that you're doing in order to cope with the loved one that has just passed. Make sure that you clean yourself and you're not leaving, the 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 residue of that person on you. Verse 14. This is the law when a man dieth in a tent. All that come into the tent and all that is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. Saying this is if you go into a house that has a dead body, or you go into like if you're going to a funeral and the body's there, they got it on display. You understand? You'll be unclean for 7 days as well. That's why so many brothers in this truth, like, we don't really attend, funerals like that, because we have a job to do. You understand? Being unclean for a week, that's missing out on a lot of work of the Lord. You understand? We could, be going out to camp, you understand, teaching classes, passing out flyers. Like, we could be doing so many things to help out this nation. And if it means that we gotta, sacrifice not seeing a loved one more time before they're put into the ground, then so be it. You understand? We'll see them again when they're reincarnated. Verse 15. And every open vessel which hath no covering bound upon it is unclean. 16. And whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. It sounds pretty basic. It's also why, brothers don't typically go into cemeteries as well, saying you'll be unclean for 7 days. Verse 17. And for an unclean person, they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. Verse 18. And a clean person shall take hyssop and dip it into the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. Verse 19. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at even. 20. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean. 21. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them, that he that sprinkleth the water of separation shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of separation shall be unclean until even. 22. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth it shall be unclean until even. I'm saying, so if brothers touch someone that is unclean, regardless of what they're unclean from, well, more specifically pertaining to what it is we just went over in this chapter. Someone touches a dead body, been around a dead body, been in a cemetery, anything like that. You understand? Let's say you dap them up. You understand? You only be unclean until sundown. You understand? Once sundown comes, then you're clean again, and you can continue on with, priestly duties or whatever it is that you got to do. Book of Numbers, chapter 20 and verse 1. It's like he will say. Book of Numbers, chapter 20 and verse 1. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. Verse 2. And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. Verse 3. And the people chode with Moses and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. Verse 4. And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And so, like many instances of when the children of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous, came out of captivity under the Egyptians, you understand, we started questioning, you understand, the man it is that the Lord put over us. You understand? Like our people, we have a real problem with not only the men of the Lord who were tasked with leading the nation, but we also really have a problem with the Lord. You understand? That's why our people always, like in verse 4, I'm reading from the top. It says, And why have you brought up the congregation of the children, it's like a congregation of the Lord, into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And so our people always think, because, we're not living in the most ideal of conditions or in the best situations, we always think that the Lord is simply just there to kill us. Saying when we was in Egypt, I don't even want to say we wasn't even living good lives, but we had what it is that we needed in order to survive. You understand? We had food, we had water, we had housing. Our people had all the drugs it is that they could get their hands on. You understand? They had all the liquor, they had all the whores, they had any and everything that they could have wanted, even though, you understand, our forefathers were slaves then. And because it costs to be free, you understand, it costs not to be a slave. You got to go through hardships in order to be free, no matter what the hardship is. And it's something as little as not being able to, um, properly bury someone, and our people will turn against the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They'll start to question the Most High God. They'll start to question the leaders or slightly the leader that the Lord put over the nation. You understand? Just like our people were questioning Moses multiple times back then, our people question Commanding General Yohana today. You understand? Like that's something that our people have to truly get out of that slave mentality. You understand? Because that's the whole point of us arguing is so that we can stay joined to those that oppress us. You understand? We wanted to stay joined to the Egyptians back then. You understand? They oppressed us back during that slavery, and our people want to stay joined to America now. Same people who have been oppressing us for over 400 years. Verse 5. And wherefore have you made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed or of figs or of vines or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And so this is our forefathers, questioning Moses, saying like, why would you bring us to an area that has nothing? Saying there's no food it is that we can gather. Saying we can't go picking fruits off of trees and getting nuts and whatever it is that we need in order to get something in our stomachs. You understand? There's no water out here. Like, what's the point of bringing us out of captivity? Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. Verse 7. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 8, take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. And so this is the Lord giving Moses instruction and on how to essentially perform a miracle. You understand? Which not only will take care of the nation, you understand, our people that need water in order to survive, who are so accustomed to having everything provided to them by their slave masters, but it'll also show our people that the Lord is with Moses. You understand that Moses is the one that was chosen by the Most High Power, the only real power in this earth. You understand? And that's something that our people are realizing every single day when it comes to the ISUPK. And so our people are realizing the miracles it is that this school is doing all across this earth, wherever the 12 tribes are, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous. You understand? Our people thought, it to be not possible for our people to get off drugs. You understand? For our people to come together and there not be a shooting. Our people thought it impossible, for us to be able to provide for them. You say, meanwhile, we have clothing drives every week. You say, we have massive food giveaways every week. And not to mention the mission to Acuna, saying that the brothers in Texas under Captain Yatazak did, like the ISUPK provided for, really, I'm gonna say like a whole country of people. You understand? A large group of people that was fleeing from their country, who sought to have some kind of refuge in America because they thought that since the Afghanistanians were getting refuge, that they'd be able to do the same thing. When in reality, America turned away the Haitians from coming into this country that's supposed to be all accepting and all loving, and left them to die on the borders in Mexico. But the ISUPK, got together and took supplies out there to them brothers and sisters. Took them water, food, clothing, hygiene supplies, baby clothes, formula, diapers, any and everything that you could have imagined that a nation would need in order to survive. Them brothers and sisters got it together and they helped them brothers and sisters on that border. So that's why this organization is so it blows your mind every time you see what brothers and sisters are doing in here. Just like we saw a brother go up to a rock and hit it with his staff and water came out of it, like that blow your goddamn mind. And that's exactly what brothers and sisters in here are doing today. Like we are blowing the minds of our people. We're doing what our people thought could never be done. And that's to separate from our oppressor and to learn how to, be free. To not be a slave. Verse 9, and Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. Verse 10, and Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? That's such a heavy statement that Moses has made, by calling our people rebels, because that's exactly the spirit that our people have always had on them, is to rebel against the Lord. To be just like a child, to go against what their father is telling them. Like that's the spirit that our people have always had on them, even during different time periods of us having different judges or kings. You name it, our people have always been rebellious. That's why the Lord called us a stiff-necked people, because we have such a hard time of not focusing on what it is that we want. And instead of focusing on what the Lord wants, what the Lord demands of us. And that's the exact same spirit that our people have today. But thankfully to the Lord, he gave us the ISUPK. Our people are going to learn that we can't just focus on what it is that we want. Like we got to do what our power, our God tells us to do. Otherwise, we're not going to get out of this condition it is that we've been living in for over 400 years. We're just going to get worse. We're going to remain being slaves. Thinking that Americans, or it's like our oppressor, is our brother. Just like back then, our people thought that the Egyptians, cared for us somewhat, thought that the Egyptians were our brothers, when that's simply not the case. Just like the Egyptians were and are our enemies, our oppressor is our enemy. And nothing is going to change. No matter what laws get changed, no matter how inclusive our oppressor is, no matter how much he gives us fake love and sheds crocodile tears over our deaths it is that he commits, he's always going to be our enemy. And us as a nation have to accept it and realize it. So with that said, just a men behind the podium, imadium, which means to stand. La Yasha'Allah, which means to Israel. So Hamadyum, which means to stand. Wupunya Akidam, means to turn and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawu, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwatha, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'ar Ratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawabo Wathanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kawabo Wathayanawa, Wala'a, Dabayayanawa, Bonasayawan, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wathapara, La'awalamyum, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. The prayer for the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashai, Babakusha, Nathananawu, Hakak, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Ka Makala, Waka Marawa, Hakak, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, La Hakim, Hamathium, Hakak, Al Rakawat, Hatama'ala, Lagarshan, Bahashim Yahawashai, the Wada Aman. The prayer for the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahawashai, thank you, so be it. The prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barak atha Yahweh, wa Yahawashai, wam yaka'ala, wa alahayim, matazab ya'a, alawap yahana, ha alawapyum, hazaranyum, ha kwatazayanyum, ha kayayayum, wa akwathian, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashai, the water Aman. Perfect blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahawashai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha, Ayanya, Al-Hahariam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamuwat, Ragolka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazolka, Al, Yad, Yumyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayirak, Baya'ala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'aka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'aid, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all Damayah, Lakah, all Thakarash, were all Bashakwat, all Kaya, Hana, Awayabyaka, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Ya'arwayamwa, Sawada, Wayatha, Ya'itazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakidam, Magalia, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham, Yasha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Noah Itazawa, Labat, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Aholya, Adawam, Wayashamai, Alayum, Moabba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'imawan, Wa'imalak, Palashah, Ain, Yeshabia, Tazawar, Gan, Ashawar, Nalawah, Imam, Hayawah, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Selah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadian, Kasa Yasara, Kayabian, Bonakaol, Kayashawan, Nasha Madwa, Ba'ayan da Ara, Hayawan, Damun, La'adama, Shayathamwa, Nada, Yab Mawa, Ka'ira, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Manai, Ko, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Na'awat, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kogogola, Kakwash, Lapanya, Rawaka, Ka'ash, Taba'ira, Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Harayam, Kam, Taradatma, Basa'iraka, Wabasa, Wapathka, Thabahalam, Mala'ah, Panyaham, Qualawan, Wayabakashwa, Shimka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayaba'alwa, Idea, Aya, Wayakaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shimka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Ka, Ha'aratazah. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Selah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as the Sisera, as the Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes as Zeba and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood. And as the flames set the mountains on fire, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Sar, which means to turn. Sisters, Yoshabia, which means to be seated. Give a salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat, Imadium Barak, Yahal Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakathum, Yadim Matad. Sisters, Imadium, which means to stand. Sar, turn and face sisters. I'm going to give a salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat, Imadium Barak, Yahweh Shemar al Thumba Hashem Yahushua. Yadim Matad. Sabbath service dismissed.